Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be another part of the build series for the K1100 Cafe Racer, and today we're going to actually be working on the factory gas tank. If you're new to the build, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. This is my K1100. I'll show a picture up here on the screen of what it used to look like, and now this is what it looks like. I took everything off the motor and painted everything, cleaned every single thing up, welded in this rear hoop last video and got the seat put on there. But now we gotta get the tank all cleaned up, sanded down, and take off those stuff, and I'll show you how to get everything done. Hopefully it comes out good. I got some nice touch-up paint. I'll show you guys here. So this right here is the touch-up paint I got. I got it from Automotive Touch-Up. It's supposed to be a really good automotive paint place, so this is what I'm going to be using. Now this is my factory gas tank. It is in decent shape. It has a little bit of dings around here, and we're gonna try to clear all that up. I took off the gas cap here and masked it all off, made sure nothing ever got in there. We gotta peel off the factory emblems. They're a little beat up, and we want to get paint underneath it, obviously, and also the little knee pad covers here. I want to get rid of those. It has some dents. It's not too bad, but yeah, like I said, we got little dimples up here, got a little bit of a line here of a dent, just little stuff throughout, and I'm just gonna sand it all down and get us starting with the base. Now before we go and sand it all down, I'm gonna cut off these little tabs that are unnecessary. This one's for the fairing, and the ones down here that we're not going to use either is for another part of fairings and plastics. So anything we're not going to use, we're going to get rid of, just so it has a more clean look. Okay, so as you can see right here, I made a Sharpie little line here just to make sure I keep an eye on where to cut this. Let me go get my grinder and chop this thing off. Okay, got this all sanded down and everything. As you can see, like when I cut it at like 2 angles and then chopped little pieces off and just smoothed all this out with a wire wheel and got it all nice and smooth. And I also grinded this down to make it smooth curve here, because remember I cut it straight up. So made this look kind of like a factory little curve, and let's try to stay with the factory body line as much as possible. And the one tab that's here, that was really easy, just cut it straight off and shampoo. Alright, so now let's get these emblems off and the knee pads. Alright, so we have successfully taken off all the badges off of this thing. As you can see, I got some sticky residue still on here. On this side, this one has a little bit more sticky, crappy stuff on there. So I'm going to use some Goo Gone on this and try to get some of this stuff off of here. And then I'm going to go and sand it up. Okay, so I sanded all this down. I have cleaned it, but I'm going to clean it one more time with wax and grease remover just to make sure everything is off of here. As you can see, I tried to sand down pretty much any little imperfection that was in it, but I'm going to primer it and then check for any dings when I sand it down. Hopefully once I sand down the primer, I can find those little imperfections and do a little bit of touch-up Bondo, little body filler in those areas, and then sand that down. Then I'll do one more primer coat over top of this, and we can start applying our actual color. guys, this is like my third coat of primer on this sucker, so I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then I'm going to sand it down and get it ready for a Bondo, and then do a primer over top of that again, do a light sand over that, and then put on a real paint. But while we're waiting on this, we're gonna go clean up our exhaust and get that done, and maybe some other stuff to get onto the bike to get this thing ready. No, 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 no. Get out of here. Why? Why is there a spider on my freaking gas tank? Okay, so I did some sanding and I can see some spots that I definitely need to fill in. Just little tiny spots around here. On this side, I actually can't even really tell this. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but there's a line right here I'm going to try to smooth out and fill in. So that'll pretty much take care of where the Bondo is going to go. So I got this cardboard underneath this tank just to be able to spray paint like underneath a little bit, so then I make sure I don't miss any spot. Okay, so I got our little Bondo patches on here. This whole back piece, I kind of wanted to smooth it all out so you don't see that like middle weld in the middle there. So hopefully I can make that look nice. And basically, let's just get the sandiness down and see how she can turn out and see what we can do. Okay, so I've gotten all the Bondo sanded down. Everything looks to be pretty darn smooth on this thing all the way around. Here, I'll give you a little walk around of this before we do another primer over top of it. So let's do a primer over top of this and then see if we have any more weird dimples or anything into this thing. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so I put on our final thing of primer. This is about 3 or 4 coats of primer, I think it's 4. Anyways, sanded everything down, pretty much got everything good to go, and when I do my paint on here, I'm going to wet sand it as well after I clear coat it. Now to use this paint, it's pretty basic from the instructions that it says on the back. All you have to do is pretty much shake it up for like 1 to 2 minutes and do some light coats 5 to 10 minutes in between each coat. So I'm going to do probably 3 coats and see how that looks. Alrighty, now would you look at that nice Nardo Gray. This is actually Nardo Gray. I do realize that I got the one for the Audi, so this is actual Nardo Gray. I'm going to do a clear coat on it now. I've been waiting for like an hour now, so I'm going to do a nice little clear coat on her and then wet sander. Alright, so it's been like a whole entire day since last time I gave you guys an update, and I let this paint dry over time. I'm not really using real Fiji water. This is just a Fiji bottle, so not that bougie for this. I wet sanded all this and it feels so smooth compared to the regular paint, so like you can even hear it in my fingers. Like, so smooth. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do for the rest of the tank, and then I'm going to go and do a polish over top of that. Just do a little polish compound and hopefully like see how the light hits this and it's like all ripply and weird looking and fuzzy. Yeah, so hopefully we can take all that out, and then when the like light hits it, it looks like a mirror finish almost. So let's get to that. Okay, so this side turned out pretty darn good, and then we have to get this side all sanded down, so you can see like literal the change. I'll put another video up so you can see it a little bit closer, but yeah, it turned out pretty good with the I did 1500 grit, 2500 grit, and then 3000 grit, and then I did a compound and polish on this, so that's how I got this to look like that. Alright, got the tank all polished up, looking nice and clean all the way around. Looking really nice and clean. So let's go throw this on the bike actually. Alrighty guys, that's pretty much what's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys for so much for watching. By the way, I'm not a professional. If you guys have any tips about how to paint and stuff, I mean, this turned out decently good. I mean, it's about as good as I wanted it to be, a little bit under par, but I mean, I'm not a professional, so I hardly know what I'm doing. And I also did it out of a spray bottle, so. But anyways, make sure you give this video a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.